Good evening. Good evening, David. Good evening, Satish, Sachin, Manisha, all of you who are present today. Thank you for joining in. Let's just start the session without further any delay. Uh, we expect around 1.5 hours of followed by a half an hour of Q&A. That's how this program has been designed. So most probably by 9:30 we will have one go over all the discussion points. Uh, our focus will be we try to understand ESG reporting, how we can use a standard and frameworks to comply the same. And in this case, we are targeting BRSR as a regulatory framework and GRI as a international global framework. Let me start the session with some fact bombs. First one, are you aware about currently sustainability related disclosures are in limelight and most of the companies have started reporting about it. In by end of 2022 and 2023, out of 43,970 companies, listed companies globally, stock exchange all across the world, I'm talking here, with a total market capitalization of nearly 100 trillions, 98 trillion to be exact, almost 9,600 companies have started reporting and preparing sustainability reports, which represents approximately 22% of all listed company currently are reporting sustainability initiatives, which represents, by the way, in terms of market cap, $85 trillion. So out of 100, 85% of market cap companies have started reporting. And there is a growing urge in managing in managing climate related risk and opportunity, which has generated greater interest by investor and about company greenhouse gas emissions. Globally, approximately 6,308 companies, representing 77% of those which have started reporting, has started considering specifically a scope 1 and scope 2 GHG emissions. Specifically, 77% of 200 top 250 company in Forbes 500 have started reporting sustainability and got benefit out of it. You know how much was that benefit which they realized, which is a part of opportunity? It's a $1 billion in that year itself. Yeah. Firm were able to reduce the emission earned more than 500 other peer companies in Forbes 500. Now you can see those two reporting OECD sustainability reports as well as KPMG survey I have collected data from. Another interesting fact which is quite critical to understand relating to sustainability reports are that 50,000 companies in June, July 2024, 23-24 have started mandatory report on sustainability side of their business. And that's a massive change, which is starting from Europe. So all SMEs specifically have come into this purview and they have started reporting on sustainability, which creates, of course, a large job market in this area, along with a lot of awareness in the businesses. 80% of all the chief investment officers of that they are considering nowadays ESG as an important for investment decision making. And even customer, the other side of a stakeholder, specifically a customer in USA, has given a premium of 12% other products which are not ESG compliant. And all these benefits making it now possible for companies to look after their sustainability reports seriously and specifically make sure that it is done accurately and have a credibility in it. As we are seeing awareness about sustainability, at the same time, we have seen several cases of greenwashing too. And that greenwashing sometimes is an honest mistake done by the company and sometimes it is purposeful. And both can be avoided if you know how you can do it accurately. There was one line which you can find it on World Economic Forum website, that it is now cheaper to save the world than destroy it, and that's why this momentum is getting so much of value and credibility. Capitalism might be at the blame for global warming for last 200 years, but could it that now be a force to tackle the climate change is a question people are asking. Because apart from the risk which climate action and sustainability inaction creates, same time, it also creates some massive opportunity for companies to capture on. And that is what we are seeing on the graph left. Now, if you say crafting ESG report is a art, then there are steps to follow to achieve that art with accuracy of 100%. We at ESG Pro Institute have looked into the same, and we have analyzed several reports. One of the report which is on your left-hand side, which I'm citing here, is 3M, a company which was embroiled in ozone layer depletion case, now has a sustainability report which is of world quality. And even though they do the same business, they have not changed their business. How they do it? First of all, right people with skill in right place is the key to create a credible craft of the ESG report. Second, you have to understand sustainability report fundamentals, specifically the frameworks, international frameworks, which are available at your disposal. Third, you need to master ESG framework, specifically in standard like a BRSR. Fourth, opportunity to having expertise in sustainability report, which brings credibility to the team, also need to be considered. That how we should make sure the team which is involved in this operation is also as qualified as my standards are. And finally, at the last, success story, community member feedback also helps you craft that ESG report, which is credible enough for people to trust and vouch on it. Let's start with module first, where I want to set a boundary that what kind of person should attend such kind of awareness program. Let me put that clear right away in the beginning itself. You are in right place if you are from any of the following professional background. If you are not, you may leave the session because it will be waste of your time. Who are those people? They of course come from academic institutions, consulting firms, manufacturing companies, energy and power, financial institutions like bank and investment firms, as well as environmental agencies, organizations, sustainability professionals. You can come from areas like risk management and compliance, and also you can be professional like CFA, CPA, CAs, CS, or CMA. If you see all our paid program, most of these people have attended and got benefited from. So they can come from IT background. They are a head of project management in an IT company, but still they have joined our programs because they have understood the value inside it. So if you are from any of these background, you are most welcome and you are in right place. You are also in right place if you are often confused with different style of sustainability report. If you think that you want to hone that skill, this 1.5 hour will be a charm for you. Second, if you are uncertain where to begin your journey, specifically in the area of GRI and BRSR, you are in right place. If you are struggling with a lack of expertise and resources for ESG data management, you are in right place because we will give you those tools and techniques at the end of the session if you are joining our paid program. You will be in right place and you are in right place if you are curious to master the GRI and BRSR reporting structure with our in-depth program, which are set to be announced at the end of this session. But first thing first, why you should even care about listening to me? I have 2 decades of leading consulting firm as well as investment banking firm. Currently, I work as a managing partner for M&A experts, out of which you are seeing ESG Pro Master Institute is a learning platform for the same. My background is investment banking, specifically with the area of ESG. So I promote ESG investing in India, and we bring a lot of funds all across the world. Second, of course, I have spent a lot of time with companies like Grant Thornton, where I was heading their transaction advisory services for Middle East operation. I'm also a CFA charter holder from USA and ESG certified from University of Pennsylvania, UPenn, we say in short. Apart from that, of course, in recent year, I have accomplished a lot. Means has been working with honchos like Karan Majumdar. She is the chairman of Biocon. Have been awarded CFO award because I had a stint, 3 years stint between 2019 to 2024 as a CFO, where I was helping my corporates on merger acquisition. So I have been awarded thrice in a row for my merger and acquisition acumen, as specifically with the sustainability and DEI being a critical factor there. Of course, I was also on TEDx promoting sustainability and diversity, specifically on the sustainability side. Along with, I was also been interviewed by Economic Times often. Last 1 year, of course, I have authored 2 bestsellers. One of them is on investment banking, plain investment banking, and second one is on sustainable investment. So these 2 books on Amazon for 3 months in a row were in top 100 books. I have trained and advised more than 3,350 companies and working professionals together. With that further ado, did I get your attention? Because that was the exact purpose, right? If I didn't get your attention, let me give you some bonuses. If you attend this program till the end, you will be getting a special offer on your ESG career upgrade if you are planning to upgrade yourself. Second, we will also give you a book on carbon accounting flip book, ebook, which will be along with you will have a continued access of 1 month on our premium WhatsApp and Telegram channel. To make sure that you are paying attention, you will get this link in between the program. Isn't it a smart move, right? So we will not give you at the end or in the beginning, but in between. If you are not focusing enough in the chat box, you might miss those links. So pay attention till the end. And also, if you like to give a review, you can go to our Google review and put, good or bad, whatever way you want, so that somebody else can definitely get benefited with this kind of programs. Now, with that, let me start the module 2 of our session, where we are going to discuss about understanding the sustainability report and its fundamental. The thing will start with what are the different approaches you have in ESG, which has matured over a period of 35 years now, since first time the sustainability term was coined in 1983 to 1987 in the book called Our Common Future. How the system has matured, we will look into the same. Let's start with dividing this whole industry into 4 different buckets and try to understand how it helps. You see, global goals and principle is in one bucket, which includes Sustainable Development Goal of 2015, which has a target of 2030. Then you have a greenhouse gas protocol, which has been developed in 1997 and 2001 it was adopted. You have UN Compact, UN Connect, which also has published several reports where the GRI comes from. Then you have a carbon disclosure project, which is CDP and PRI. So these are certain goals and principle which acts as a key frame principle and goals which people, corporates, country or individual can adopt. Then comes the reporting framework, which you use to prepare your ESG reports. First of those are, of course, is GRI. Why GRI is first and why people have accepted is left, right, and center. We will discuss in the module of GRI itself. Then, of course, is IFRS SASB. And along with that, of course, ISO has several ISO standards which people are adopting in order to become sustainable, along with EcoVadis and TCFD and TNFD. So these are certain reporting framework which people are using in order to prepare a report which is authentic and at the same time globally accepted. Then comes the regulation. So each country or a union like European Union has have their own regulations, which they have prepared to make a compliance oriented process. One of those, which is very famous, is CSRD from Europe, SFDR, EU taxonomy, and now it is slowly merging with CSDDD coming into play in 2024. Government has taken action and tried to merge all these regulations so that compliance becomes easier for companies who are planning to get complied with. Then comes the other bucket, which is ESG rating and indices. I am in one of the company's board committee where I am approving and reviewing all listed companies in India who are getting rated by that company. I am affiliated with ESGrisk.ai, which is actually US based company, equity risk analysis company. They are affiliated with them. And they are one of the first company in India who has been authorized by SEBI to rate Indian listed company of thousand. They have recommended 1,000 companies in India under BRSR. Of course, we will discuss that into our module of BRSR. Let's understand that now there is a historical timeline which shows you that how people from being a focused approach of sustainability, where three things have been considered as basics, which starts with 3P. The 3P stands for profit, planet, and profit, planet, and people. That was the sustainability concept, which has slowly has emerged as a ESG concept, which is environmental, social, and governance factor of a business or a country. Everything has started with a document which you are seeing on the left-hand side, Our Common Future, which was published in 1987. However, the genesis was laid in 1983 by United Nations World Commission on Environmental and Development, in short, WECD. They commissioned a commission called Brundtland Commission. And the lady who was heading it, she prepared this report in 5 years' time. Once she published first time, she has made a reference to sustainability, concept of the sustainability development. In 1992, of course, there was a follow-on. This report became the foundation for the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, which was again a UN conference on environmental and development. And that formed a UN Commission for Sustainable Development. Going forward, you must be knowing UNFCCC and other bodies. Of course, in 1994, for the first time, people came together, and in sustainability, they decided these three factors are critical to be incorporated. So when in 1997, GRI a standard got published, it based on these particular fundamental, which was people, planet, and profit. Of course, another framework, SASB, came in 2000 from, along with indices of Dow Jones, which gives the credibility to this environment of ESG, that how it performs in compared to other stocks in the market. CDP was introduced in 2011. Along with 2015, we have seen a massive change in the country's direction where they have introduced sustainable development goals. And later on, as you know, from 2018 onwards, ESG is a terminology everybody is using. So it do not only relates to economic, planet, and people, but also it acts the governance, because we have seen several fallouts on the corporations like Enron, Satyam, etc. And that's why governance also got a very important parameter under ESG development. With that, let me come to actual sustainability report. Of course, the definition for sustainability report, if you try to Google it or find it, you will find it is a practice of three things. What is those? Measuring, disclosing, and being accountable. To what? To internal as well as external stakeholder. For what? For organization performance towards the goal of sustainable development. That is what it implies in terms of definition. It has evolved from a niche practice of 1990s to a mainstream expectation today, with an increasing mandate and regulations around the world. And that regulation part specifically mitigate that risk which is associated with the sustainability and climate. While the opportunity part, people who are doing voluntary, they are trying to capture those opportunity in terms of the fund which is available in the world. Let me give you another fact bomb. Currently, 45% of the total asset under management across world, and I'm talking about total asset under management is approximately $140 trillion. Out of that, 40 to 45%. By Deloitte report, by 2025, it will be 50%. But I'm just citing what is the current status. So 40 to 45% is in with the label of sustainability. So if you want to raise funds, you want to do expansion, you need support of investor, you want banks to support you, you need to be oriented, green oriented and sustainable oriented firm. Let's go to next understanding of what is credible sustainability report and how you can create it. I use these four parameters to judge if the report is a credible or not credible. What are those? First, the report has to include both sides of the business with a transparency. What are those sides? Good side and the bad side. As we know, a lot of company and board of director tend to put in their financial report only good side, and they do not like if auditors or accountants produce a bad side of their company operation. However, sustainability reports are completely opposite to that. If you don't do it, that report is not credible enough. So both side of the business stories should come, specifically in non-financial side of your business. That creates the credibility in sustainability report. Second, use of data and target to support those claims. If the data is not credible enough, whatever stories you are mentioning in the document doesn't have a basis to prove it, and you have not refer those documents, etc., that report again will lack on credibility. Third, if you are not following a recognized framework in your document and state in the beginning of the report itself, again, you will be challenged with the credibility of your sustainability report. And that is why GRI, BRSR, TCFD, CSRD, all this global framework and standards come into play. Consider also external verification of your report or certain part of report as recommended by different authority, including GRI, GHG protocols. Yeah, it will be always advisable, and that gives the credibility of your sustainability effort as well as the report which you are preparing. What are the reason you should produce a credible sustainability report or corporate sustainability report? This CSR is corporate sustainability report acronym. Sustainability report, if it is credible and you are preparing it, you are creating an archive in single place, because these reports serves as an archive for the company sustainability effort what you are doing from day one. It provides a single organized location for all relevant information, and that's why people love to prepare sustainability report even though they do not want to comply with any standard or framework. You have to start, and Rome is never been built in a day. It requires a block to block preparation. Second reason why people are producing sustainability report is they want to showcase the progress in improving their operation, workplace environment, and community impact altogether. This helps companies to track and improve the operation wherever they lack in compared to peers. So this helps them in developing a better business. Third reason why companies are looking into CSR report nowadays is providing information to investor and analyst for the risk assessment. Market the firm and highlight the positive action is also one of those reasons that board of directors nowadays encouraging their team to start producing sustainability report. And that's why you have seen that 22% of the top listed company have started doing it, and this year the number is expected to exceed 30 to 35% of those. Yeah, massive number of companies are coming into this play. With that, I'm changing my gear to module 3. If you have any question, you can post it in chat box or just wait till 8:30 and we can have that Q&A session. Let me cover the framework as well as the standard. I will start with, first of all, GRI reporting. So, of course, I am going to cover four parts here. First, I will introduce you to GRI itself, that how this different development has happened to prepare to have a standard or framework which we are using in 2023, 2024. Okay, so the story part will be covered, history part will be covered here. Second, we will also look into the overview of GRI standard, what all it consider, what are the three key tenet to it, and why people are using it. Then we will go and look into closer look we will give to the each standard segment. There are three basic standard segment: universal, sectoral, and topic standards. All three we will look with a close eye and see what is required there. And of course, we will also look into key steps in developing those GRI report while going forward. Okay, with that promise, let me start straight away with the first part of the story itself, the history itself. As you can see, in 1997, first time GRI founded in Boston by a company called Telus Institute, Ceres and Telus Institute. In short, they are saying CERES. Why they started this initiative, this non-governmental organization based out of Boston? Because just in that year, in the beginning of that year, Exxon Valdez oil spill has happened, and that has troubled a lot of people in those countries who got affected, or the people who are really looking after climate changes. So this company decided that let's prepare something for all corporates to follow, and eventually that became a successful reporting standard called GRI. GRI is a short form of Global Reporting Initiative, as you know. Later on was adopted by United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP. And that's how the headquarters changed from Boston to Geneva. Of course, in 2000, they have published their first version of GRI guidelines. Then in 2002, they brought in G2 guidelines. 2006, they brought G3 guidelines. And then, of course, in 2012, after Rio event, approximately Rio plus 20, it is called, United Nations Conference on Sustainability Development has talked about it. In 2013, the G4 guideline came into play. And then in 2016, first time, full-fledged, what we see today, similar to that format, reporting structure was launched by GRI Framework. In 2020 and 2019, as you see, certain specific part of the standard were launched relating to tax standard and West standard. In 21, people have revised the universal standard and published it. 2023, of course, 2023, if you see the new revised version of Universal Standard 2021 was launched, and from 1st January, people have started using this particular framework. Yeah, so all our discussion will be relating to 2023 version of the report. Let's understand the three key tenets of GRI standard. The GRI standard is based on three particular reasons. First is the transparency, second is the impact, and third is engagement. This is what GRI expect. You see, GRI set a global standard for sustainability report, which is embraced by more than 14,000 plus companies now across 100 countries. So this has a massive adoption. Yeah. GRI standard for sustainability reporting are endorsed, and this is the only standard which is endorsed by United Nations. So if you have adopted and you are complied with, your reports actually gets endorsed indirectly by United Nations initiatives. Clear? And that's why people have adopted. Now let me go through these three tenets and what exactly they means. Transparency, of course, GRI standard empower organizations for transparently report and disclose their sustainability performance, which is required to foster the trust in ecosystem and accountability to the people who are preparing it. So that's a key tenet of GRI standard, transparency. Second is, of course, it encourages the engagement. You cannot prepare a sustainability report if you are complied with GRI standard without engaging your stakeholders. A stakeholder means from customer to your shareholder. All of them are a stakeholder who are going to be your audience, as well as their point of view should be reflected in your reporting. And this is why people have adopted, because automatically GRI enables you to engage with your stakeholder, which are critical to make decision on sustainability efforts. And finally, it have a larger impact. Just by adopting and being compliant with GRI, you are addressing the most material sustainable topic in your company, because it starts from materiality finding, right? Identifying the material topics in your company. And that's why it creates an impact where it is required. And it has a scientific way of guiding you to reach it. And that's why a lot of people learn it with a deep understanding of GRI standard. Yeah. The benefits which you get from this GRI standard is, of course, it is modular. So it gives you little flexibility. And the structure which it has, universal, sectoral, and topic, it is interrelated. So you can choose and pick where you fit right, or your sector or company fits right. Of course, purpose of enabling transparency on organization impact on economy, environment, and people is critical here. Along with another advantage of GRI standard is it is a free public good, which is available in public domain. You can download all the documentation and follow the process if you wish to. Three benefits and three concepts which are on which the GRI report, GRI framework people use for reporting purposes are the benefits, of course, include that your reporting sustainability performance improves every year as you pass by. Second, it enhances the risk management capability because you are listing all the risk related to E, S, and G on one place in form of content index. Then you have engaged stakeholder, which is also quite critical in this area. Now, if you see the concept, three critical concept which you have to understand, and this we deep dive when we go for a 6-day boot camp, that how to do materiality assessment. That is a critical topic which you have to understand in order to become GRI compliant. Second, ESG factor disclosure, which you need to include in your reports, also we discuss in detail, and it is a critical concept which is required for GRI reporting, along with what kind of a scope, the organizational scope or operational scope, along with how to create an index, is another factor which is promoted by GRI. These three key concepts define GRI reporting structure as well as the impact. Let's understand the process itself. GRI, this is a recommended process. I'm citing the book itself. They have recommended this process which you have to follow if you are using GRI as a starting point for your sustainability reporting. Of course, you start with GRI 1, but what you need to do is you have to understand the system and key elements of the GRI first. You need to understand that. Of course, in next 10 minutes, you will have that idea for sure. Then comes the how to apply it, right? How to apply it is a little tricky part where you need to give little more time. And there our bootcamp helps you, right? Because we go every learning about one particular aspect of the business and how to use those aspects of the business for ESG reporting. Once you have this database ready, then you go and identify and assess the impact of those particular elements which are critical for your business. How you do it? You start by understanding the organization context, then you identify the actual and potential impact, and then you look into assessing the significance of the impacts itself. That how much it is going to impact in my business in terms of financial and non-financial actions. And then once you have understood through your materiality assessment these part, then you prioritize them. That which one I want to tackle first, what kind of target I want to put first, and then you start putting documentation for the reporting purposes. So material topic is ready now. That material topics gets feed into your report information. What you do there, you refer the GRI universal standard, sector standard, and topic standard as a guideline to start writing the report. If you are omitting anything, then you have to cite the reasons for the omission if it applies. Once you have done that, you have already prepared a sustainability report, which is required to have a GRI content index. It's one of the most critical item which GRI standard recommends. So that becomes a ready now for the people who are reading this report. Of course, once you do that, attach in the front or attach in different segment of the materiality topics, you need to publish this information on different media wherever your company is publishing your financial reports. And then, of course, you also need to send a copy of the same of GRI content index along with the report by notifying it to GRI. Just by sending this report to GRI, you are complied. And of course, you have to follow the principles. If you have done these two, you are complied with GRI. You can write in your report that I am in compliance with GRI reporting structure or framework. Up to here, any question anybody has? If not, that's a good news. Let's go ahead and get our hand dirty with the standard itself. In next 5 to 7 minutes, I will try to cover as much as I can, as much as I can in GRI standards, given the time limit which we have. First, let's understand the universal standard. So navigating the GRI standard requires you to read this first chapter, which is three booklets are available on GRI website. One is GRI 1, which gives you what are the requirements to be followed and what are the principles which you need to use in order to become GRI standard compliant. Those principles, there are 8 principles which you have to follow. And once you have followed it, you are in compliance. Automatically, you are in compliance with GRI. Of course, you have to prepare report according to the topic standard and sector standard, but this is the starting point. That's the booklet number 1. Booklet number 2, it's called GRI 1 Foundation 2021. That's the name of the booklet. The booklet number 2 is GRI 2, okay, which covers the general disclosure of about the company. So what kind of your organization is, how many subsidiary you have, how are you reporting, and if you are reporting, which part of operation of those company you are reporting, etc., need to be put here. Are you in chemical industry? Are you in service industry? Where your company fits, that also need to be disclosed here. These are the general disclosure about the reporting organization. The third book, which is GRI 3, requires you to mention about material topic. And again, it is a part of 2021 program and got mandatory applied in 2023. So you have to identify. First of all, you have to mention that how you have achieved this material topic, why you consider them material, what is the process you have taken, and then you have to list them all with the regions. It is a step-by-step guidance provided under universal standard so that you can determine the material topics. Clear? Then, of course, is a sector standard. Right now, we have 4 sectors which are covered here and they require a special attention. That's why they have been separated. Those are, of course, oil and gas sector, mining sector, agriculture, etc. Then you have topic standard where you cover a specific activity of your operation which are linked to ESG factors. Yeah, and we will define it for you. So these are in 3-digit number like GRI 100, 104. There is no 101 nowadays. There is 104, then 201 and sequence of the same. GRI 301 sequence of the same, and you have GRI 400 and sequence of the same. These are the specific topic relates to a different specific purposes of E, S, and G. Let's start with GRI 1 in little more detail. So what is expected in GRI 1 is following 8 principles to be understood. What are those principles? Those are principles in short we say is ABC of carbon copy for sports terrain vehicle. ABC, A stands for accuracy, B stands for balance, C stands for clarity. So your report has to be accurate. You have to make sure it is accurate. You have to make sure that you have a balanced approach. Good and bad point has been put in the report. You have to have a clarity. That's the ABC of sustainability reporting. Of course, the carbon copy stands for comparability and completeness. So your report should have a year-on-year comparability along with the nomenclature which you are using should be standard industry specific. Yeah, like tons of carbon dioxide emission, kilowatts, kilojoules of energy uses, etc. So that comparability part has to be there, and you cannot write half-baked report. So the completeness is critical. So that a story should make sense. Then comes the sustainability context. You have to give that context where you operate, why you have taken certain targets, what is the reason for the same, are you aligning with Paris Agreement, etc. Are you following SBTI, Science-Based Target Initiative? That all need to be established in sustainability context principle. Once you do that, you are in compliance with GRI's universal standard proposed by GRI 1 reporting principle. And of course, timeliness and verifiability has to be there. You cannot publish a report of 2022 in 2025. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. And the usability is zero for the stakeholder who is going to listen in. Then comes GRI 2, the general disclosures. Of course, there are five basic parameters which you need to cover here, starting with organizations and reporting practices that need to be considered under general disclosure. Second is activities and work. Third is, of course, governance. Fourth talks about what kind of strategy, policy, and practices your company have. And the fifth parameter under GRI general disclosure covers stakeholder engagement. So how many of people from community you have engaged, how many directors you have meet, how many employee data you have collected, etc. need to be listed here. So these are the five different parts of GRI Universal Standard. Of course, one of the example you can see here in the GRI content index, which you need to prepare. So if you are writing GRI 1 Foundation 2021, you need to put a statement of use in the beginning, and then you have to give all the standard which has been followed and where people can find it. Location is not location whether you are in New York or Japan, but location is where I can find that particular discussion. Clear? That's the template which GRI provides you. And of course, our system also will give you. GRI 2, if you see the example is in front of you again, right hand side. The GRI 2 general disclosure requires the organization detail. 2.1, 2.2 talks about entity which are included in the organization sustainability report. 2.3 talks about reporting period frequency and contact point. 2.4 talks about restatement of information. And finally, you have 2.5, which talks about external assurances if you have taken. You have to write about your company, your own company, where I can find these reports, as well as for your subsidiary if it is a part of your boundaries which you are setting in the beginning. GRI 3, of course, requires you to do three things. First, you have to tell people that what process you have adopted to determine this material topic. Yeah, there are different methods. You can select one and you have to write it in your report that this is how I have identified my material topic and these are my priorities to the same. I have to list those under 3.2 and 3.3. I have to showcase how I have managed this material topic. Identifying and assessing the impact of ongoing project and engaging with relevant stakeholder is what been discussed generally in GRI 3. That's the universal standard, gentlemen, is in front of you. Let's go to universal standard template. Another company, the 3M, which I have shown you in the beginning, and this is their material topic listing. In 3.2, they have listed company like 3M now changing their business strategy and they are focusing on sustainable innovation. Of course, they do not have any topic for this particular material topic, means topic standard GRI. That's why they have said none, right? But do they see it is a critical item for them in real term? Yes, that's the .1, and .2 talks about disclosure expected by the stakeholder. Is it important here or not? That's the second dot. You can see the list as the company is into chemical and chemical innovation. They have listed material topic relevant to the same. Let me now summarize it, the whole thing for you. If you want to have a ready reckoner, this is a slide which can help you with that. GRI universal standards are single digit numbers. So a standard code is 1, 2, 3, and these are the universal standard. These are basically base documents and everybody has to write about them. So there are only three documents here. The double digit number 11, 12, 13, 14 are sector standard and this is specific to certain industry. Then you have triple digit standard code, which starts from 100, 200, 300, 400s. The topic standard GRI 100 talks about environment, and there is only one left right now, 104. Triple standard 200s start for the economics. There are seven of those, which talks about tax, etc. Triple standard 300 talks about social, where you have eight document, while the governance has 18 different guidelines to be used as a topic standard, okay, which talks about governance. With that, let's we have completed the part relating with GRI. Of course, it's a fast-paced discussion. If you want a detail, you can ask in Q&A, and also you can get benefited if you try our ESG reporting framework bootcamp. We go in detail particular topic where we cover full 2 days. Now, module 4, we will talk about an Indian ESG regulatory framework. which is in short called BRSR. The full name is Business Reporting and Sustainability. Reporting and Sustainability Reporting, BRSR. Now, what is the genesis of that document? The genesis of BRSR is basically National Guideline on Responsible Business Conduct, in short, NGRBC. National Voluntary Guidelines, this is the National Voluntary Guideline document, which often referred as National Voluntary Guideline on Social, Environment, Economic and Responsibilities of Business, was developed by, in 2009, a commission was incorporated by Ministry of Corporate Affairs. They have asked bodies, which is a Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, IICA. It's another arm which does the training, etc. And I have taken their training as well on BRSR specifically. They have given certain guidelines which need to be followed. This document has following objectives. What is those objectives? They want to encourage corporate responsibility in Indian businesses. That's the objective number one, which is which is put together in NGRBC. The second objective was, of course, sustainable development, and then you have a stakeholder welfare, along with ethical conduct and voluntary adoption. So NGRBC was, when it came into play in 2011 as a mandatory requirement, till the time it was a voluntary adoption requirement. And also at that point in time, they never made compulsory to everyone. It was limited to top 100 companies. What is the importance of this particular document, which was developed by National Voluntary Guidelines, NVG, was first that it encouraged the ethical business practices. Second, it promoted the corporate social responsibility. Yeah, the CSR initiatives like 2% of your profit of last year should be distributed, etc., was part of the same document. Then, of course, the importance is also lies with supporting sustainable development goals. So all those 17 principles under SDG 2015 are covered here. Enhancing the stakeholder trust was another argument which makes it as a critical document, along with addressing environmental concern and supporting inclusive growth. Strengthening corporate governance along with giving competitive advantage to company was also a focus of this guideline. And that's why a lot of people have adopted, irrespective of they are being in the mode of mandatory requirement or not. BRSR framework journey started in 2011 by MCA introducing this NVG guideline in public forums after research and document publication. In 2012, of course, SEBI introduced BRR as a terminology, business responsible reporting as a terminology. That was the first time they introduced 9 principle. The 9 principle remains what has been recommended in NGRBC document. Same principles are introduced in BRR, and it was made mandatory for CSR reporting for 100 companies first in India. 2015, SEBI mandated it for 500 companies based on their market capitalization under BRR LODR section number 34 2F. In 2020, of course, SEBI realized that there are reporting which is happening, which is crap, and they thought, let's revamp the whole thing and bring it in a format where sustainability gets added into the reporting cycle. So BRSR now also takes a word of sustainability, which got introduced in 2020, and in 2021, SEBI mandated it to top 1,000 companies based on the market cap in the stock exchange. Both the exchanges together, it's take a common number. And that's why you will see XBRL format, which people are submitting on NSE and BSE site, are increasing more than 1,000 number. So sometime it is 1,046, sometime it is 1,056 companies are reporting. And that depends on which exchange they have already complied with, or they are in the top 1,000 company. 2023, this was introduced formally. So from 2023 onwards, people have started officially reporting about it. And at the same time, SEBI introduced another framework called BRSR core reporting, which is a little shorter than the BRSR reporting, but it has a different kind of requirements altogether. 90% of the guidelines are common between both, but there are certain additional guidelines which requires your focus. BRSR is a comprehensive reporting structure, which is, of course, based on NGRBC recommendation, integrated reporting framework, which was originally published by International Integrated Reporting Council, in short IIRC was the short term. Previously, it was known as International Integrated Reporting. Now we call them Integrated Reporting. Integrated reporting is nothing that the financial document and non-financial document should be published together. Yeah, you must have seen SBI specifically does the same. They have a 400-page document where they publish their financial information, financial reporting for that year, along with non-financial information. Of course, BRSR is also based on UGP, GP framework, CDP framework, UNSDG 17 principle, TCFD 4 principle, PRI 7 principle, etc.